Welcome to the Hustle and Motivate podcast. It's half of your host, Will Hawkins. Thank y'all for checking out today's episode. We're going to get right into it. We're respecting the hustle and we're motivating others in the process. Like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see y'all on the next one.
What sparked me to ask you about being on a podcast was because, first of all, Will, zoom out on me, if you don't mind, sir.
Too tight?
Yeah. I don't know why people at home, this is what happens when you let Will run the camera. He don't know what he's doing. Thank you, sir. Now let's back to me talking.
I made over $500,000 in my career working with cameras. Don't listen to this guy.
We all have made over $500,000 in our work.
Knock it off.
Lifetime.
Knock it off.
You've been in it 10 years.
Knock it off.
10 years.
Knock it off.
Anyway.
I'm like that.
The fact that you would say that comment.
Said it.
Melody's made over $500,000 in her career.
How many people do you know have done that?
She's looking at him.
3 people out of the billions in the world.
That's right. Anyway, Melody.
I'm special.
Melody.
Welcome back to the Hustle and Motivate podcast, season 3. We are with our first guest of the season. It's Melody and Company. We have known each other for a while now. Yes, and you are dominating the wedding industry. That's why we wanted to sit down and talk with you.
Oh, that's very sweet of you.
Melody is dominating the industry.
The industry in general. I'm sorry. Yes, Busch Gardens. Please speak to your accolades, ma'am.
Well, I am so excited to be here on your podcast today. I respect and love both of you so much. So I'm very honored to be on your podcast.
Time out. We need to list her accolades. Melody, how many women DJs do you have now?
I have 4 other DJs.
Melody is an all-woman powerhouse DJ company.
Yes.
So she does what, everything? You all DJ everything?
Yeah, we DJ any type of event. We focus primarily on weddings, birthday parties, bar and bar mitzvahs, anniversary parties, anything. I mean, I guess at this point we could probably do funerals. We could do divorce parties, whatever you guys need us to do.
I kind of like that idea. I think that those are cool. I think divorce parties would be great.
That's actually a thing.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I haven't done any, but
you're never going to get married to get divorced.
But I would love to go to one.
All right, so this season, guys, I love the introduction.
We're going to stay positive.
That is positive.
We'll do the introduction. We're trying something new. We're also going to try to get Will to stay on track and task for these interviews from now on. Because if you watch season 2, he's the problem. He's the reason why we can't never stay on task.
I like asking off the cuff questions.
I like that though.
It gets it popping.
To make sure we stay on task and time, Melody, introduce yourself and your origin story.
Okay. Well, I am Melody. I own Melody and Company Entertainment, and I'm originally from Chesapeake. I wanted to be a big Broadway musical theater performer. So when I was 18, I left the area after going to governor's school in Oscar Smith High School. And I went to a performing arts college up in New York City called Marymount Manhattan College. And thereafter I performed and, got my degree in BA in musical theater. I decided to, audition and try to find some work. And in the midst of all of that, I auditioned for different places, and, New York City was difficult. It was crazy and hard, but I was able to book Sesame Street, which is one of my first big tours that I had. I was performing with them and touring all over the country, and that kind of brought me back to this area afterwards. I needed a break from touring, and I was kind of tired of living out of a suitcase. So I moved back to Virginia, started working with Astro Entertainment, and I was actually a motivational. So that's actually what I was doing.
A DJ,
do you know what that is?
No.
You know what a motivational dancer is? Like, they actually hire people to go onto the dance floor to get people motivated to dance.
Okay.
Yes.
I remember them.
Yeah, it might sound sketchy at first, but that's really what it is. You just go. And so I actually started doing that, and as I was working at all these different events, all these DJs were like, you should be a DJ. And I was like, what? And they started to train me and help me, figure out if it was a good fit for me. And it turned out to be awesome. So it's been.
Who trained you?
So DJ Richie Rich, was like the first person to like help me back in the day. And then Greg, of course.
Of course. Greg.
I love Greg. Yeah. So they helped me. And then from there, Larry was like, I actually know of a DJ looking for, female DJs down in Orlando, Florida. And I was like, okay, sure. Like on a whim, let me audition for him. And I did, and I got it. So I just packed up my Honda Accord and I moved to Orlando just on a whim with all my DJ equipment and just started working and auditioned for Disney World and got it and kept going to all these different places because I'm like a go big or go home person. So I went to Universal Studios, Hard Rock Hotel, like all these amazing places, and I was able to perform at all of them. So started doing that, and then I loved it, and I auditioned for Carnival Cruise Line, did that. And then I was like, I'm exhausted because I've been traveling for the last 7-8 years of my life. So I came back home and I was like, it's time to start my own business. So I started Melody and Company Entertainment.
So just to make sure I get this. So you came back. Mm-hmm. You here. How long did you train to be a DJ?
I probably trained about 6 months or so.
And you just said, I'm good enough. I'm going to go to Florida and try it.
Yeah, I'm just going to like audition for Walt Disney World, one of the biggest corporate companies in the world. I'm the kind of person that's like a very go big or go home person, right? Like I've always been that way. Like I was like, I like to sing and dance. I'm going to go to New York City and be a Broadway performer. Like I like to DJ. I'm going to go to Walt Disney World. Like that's just the kind of mentality I live with. Like no fear, live your life to the fullest. That's like what's driven me for the past, I don't know, I guess all my life mostly.
So getting to the origin, when did you realize you wanted to be, when did you realize you had a talent in music?
Probably when I was younger. I grew up singing and dancing in the community. My dad was a city council member, and I used to go to different community events with him and banquets and things, and he would get me to sing. And that was when I first found my passion for music, for singing, for dancing, things like that.
How long were you singing? When did you first do your first song?
I definitely remember singing with my dad at a banquet when I was like 5. And that was my first memory of singing. And then I loved it so much. I did a lot of different things with the community, but I started doing pageants and I was performing in pageants at a very young age. I was a pageant queen. Yeah, that was me back in the day. Yeah. And I started performing with pageants. And yeah, when I was 12, I was Miss Preteen Chesapeake. And that was like the coolest thing in the world for me, like that I was able to get that. And I got to be that by singing one of my favorite songs, which is Singing in the Rain from the musical. And I loved watching Gene Kelly tap dance and like sing in the rain and live his best life. So.
Do you know what Singing in the Rain is, Will?
I know exactly what it's. Singing in the rain.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Man.
Yes, exactly.
Will's singing in season 3.
He's singing in season 3.
I don't know the rest of the song.
So, so singing, pageant, dancing, entertaining. What made you say, okay, when you were offered the opportunity to be a DJ, what made you say, sure? What was it about DJs that the art of DJing that hooked you to say, I could do this?
So the coolest thing was actually when I started training to be a DJ, they actually had me do these little random community events, in the area, because they were like, Melody's a brand new DJ. We don't want to, give her this like insane prom or something, with Astro.
Okay.
Yeah. And so they actually gave me this really cool gig. And it was on top of a 7-Eleven. And I was like, it was the most random thing ever. I was literally, they were like, you're going to perform on top of the 7-Eleven. And I was like, this is the craziest, weirdest thing I've ever seen. So we like put all my equipment up there and we like got up there and I just had this like all the community, all the neighborhoods just came out to the 7-Eleven to support this like opening.
You were DJing on top of a 7-Eleven.
And I was DJing on top of a 7-Eleven. And I was like, this is the craziest thing I think I've ever done in my whole life is like DJ. But it was really cool. Like, stay with me. It was really cool because I was able to like combine all of the things that I had done all my life, right? Like I got to like sing songs with them and like get them going and, you know, excite them. I got to show them dances and like teach them line dances. And I got to, you know, play people's favorite music and like just inspire them and get them excited. So it made me realize like all of the things that I have been training to do my whole life, whether it's musical theater or, you know, creating events in the community with my family or, you know, whatnot, all of those skill sets that I had been learning and acquiring and training for my whole life, I could combine that into one profession.
So it made sense.
Yeah, it just made sense.
Yep. And the weddings, because we worked together before, you get out and you get things done more so than I've ever seen.
Yeah, I think it's really important for the DJ to not just be a quote unquote DJ, you know, just someone to play music. I think that we are entertainers. We are performers. It's people hire a DJ the same way they would hire a band or a musician to entertain people. You know, it's important to read the crowd and make sure that you're a good fit for the crowd. I wouldn't, you know, get out and do the cha-cha slide or Cupid shuffle with like every single crowd, you know, but it's really important to like make, you know, just create these magical moments. And that's what I learned when I was doing weddings at Walt Disney World is that's what they live by, is like creating these incredible magical moments that these people are going to remember for the rest of their lives.
What do you think makes a good DJ? What constitutes as a good DJ?
You know, I could actually go on a long rampage about this because I was looking at some of these like questions that you might potentially ask me, and that was one of them. And I wrote down like so many things, and I was like, this podcast is only what, like 30 minutes, like an hour. Like I was like, there's no way that I could go into too much detail on this, but
top three.
Okay. I'll give you can I give you top 5?
Sure.
Okay. So I would say that reading the crowd is number 1. Reading the crowd, knowing your crowd, being able to, you know, be flexible with your crowd. I think that DJs sometimes get super amped up and they're really into like their own music and they're like, this is amazing. Like it's going to really inspire them and get them going. But like it might not, you know, it's like sometimes people say, oh, well, here's a typical wedding playlist and that's what I'm going to play. Like that's not a real thing.
All the time.
It's not a real thing.
Yeah.
Like everybody, yeah.
Time out before we get going. Didn't that happen to you?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You
like
worked
that
with somebody like a month
yeah,
or later, and he
it
was the same as that.
He said we worked together twice within a month.
Yeah.
The same playlist he played at the wedding the month before.
Right.
He turned around and played that same list.
No,
again.
it's like it can't. That's just laziness.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
I hate to be controversial or upset
we love
anybody.
that here, do that.
But you have your popular songs, and I know
absolutely,
you
know,
certain
like
songs that work at every wedding, but
you're right. Like I'm probably gonna play Bruno Mars. Like I'm probably gonna play Stevie Wonder or Michael Jackson, or there's some bangers that are just gonna probably happen.
No matter what, people are gonna like.
Yeah, and most of the time, it's like I have a very extensive client portal where people go in and they say exactly what genres they want and what they don't want at my weddings. And like I base that playlist off of that. Like I base it off of what they enjoy and like what is going to tailor to their taste because it's their wedding, Reading the crowd is number 1. I would say the next one is like a passion for what they're doing. Because like you can tell when somebody goes into a job, and this is anywhere, where they're like, I just am going to get a paycheck and that's it. And I'm going to just, live my life and do the bare minimum of what I'm doing. And then I'm going to leave.
We used to call it floating.
Yeah.
Coasting.
Yeah.
Coasting
is a great word for it.
Coasting, yep.
No, it's a great word for it. And that's okay maybe in some professions. Like, maybe the Food Lion cashier, like maybe it's okay if she doesn't. No, maybe. No, but no, I'm saying, listen, maybe it's okay that she doesn't like go above and beyond to like make sure that I'm having the most excellent day that I'm going to have.
And that's the problem. Y'all be coasting because I tell you right now, It got bad when Chick-fil-A. I'm going off topic right now.
Go ahead.
Right, go for
When
it.
Chick-fil-A went off on their customer service and fell off, I knew the world.
I'm gonna tell you what
Right.
happened with that. You know what happened with that?
No.
Gen Z.
Oh, yeah.
No, yeah, they're terrible.
They're terrible people.
Terrible.
Yeah.
They're terrible
You
people.
kids out here today
Yeah.
Are terrible.
don't got no manners.
None.
So I'm in food line. You're right. She's coasted.
Right.
Yep.
I'm looking at her. She
What are you doing here?
Right. Exactly.
Get out of my face.
Right. It's like I checked you out. Like, why are you still here? Like
Yeah.
that's just what I mean. But like with our profession, like we forget sometimes. I think a lot of people forget that this is John and Susan's like one day in their
Supposedly.
entire lives that they are going to share this wedding together.
Supposedly.
What?
Supposedly.
I'm not saying that somebody's only going to get married once. I'm telling you, like, John and Susan are going to experience this one memory together, this one experience together. And that's a once in a lifetime event.
I agree. So it's funny because you can easily see when a vendor's coasted.
100%.
Like you can tell when they're just like they don't want to be there.
No, absolutely.
They're like, I'm just here.
And
to finish the job.
and I'll tell you, like, that feeds into my third thing is empathy for other people. And I think that like that is the major thing that a lot of DJs don't feel like they can like share in their job.
Elaborate
and
on that.
so my opinion is like I am a huge empath. Like I feel everything. I'm extremely sensitive and I'm very emotional and I tap into that when I DJ. I know that, for instance, that say the flow of the party is dictated based on like my choices and my actions. So based on that, like I make sure that I create that flow based on like my emotional connection with the couple.
Okay.
So it's really important that we stay like connected in that sense. I feel like a lot of times you feel like your DJ is like separated from you, or like you barely get to know your DJ. They just show up,
lot of
you know, a lot of times, or maybe even like, you know, the Wednesday before your wedding, you're now finally getting an interview or getting to talk to your meeting with your DJ. Like for me, my, you know, team, everything that we base all of our, you know, everything we base everything off of is that emotional connection that we have with our clients. And because of that, I think that we are able to give them a better experience. We're able to provide a better experience because we can really connect with them and understand like all of their needs, and not just based on this, oh yeah, well, I like rap music and I like country music and I like this. Like it goes so far beyond
It does.
all of that.
Yeah.
That kills me about vendors. It's like you basically you get somebody to book you. You okay, so here's the thing. This is why I don't want to be in full weddings like I used to be.
Sure.
Because like I still want to do them, but you get into them and it's almost like you say you love them, you love all this and that, and then you meet with the couple and you find out, oh yeah, the person never met with me, or you never talked. So how do you show up on somebody's wedding and
Right.
you never got their do's and don'ts or what's important to them for their
Absolutely.
experience?
Yeah.
I just never, the business, like I have a friend who got married and she was like, the photographer she hired told her she doesn't take client meetings.
Oh, okay.
And she was like, yeah, she told me she didn't take client. I'm like, and you still booked her?
Right.
Like,
Yeah. Like I would never book a vendor. I mean, you know, I've never been married
Book
before, but
anybody.
like I would never, like when it comes to my birthday party or something, like I would never ever book someone who I didn't have, one, first a connection with, and two, I wasn't able to like call them or text them or ask them questions or, you know, share a piece of who I am throughout the process so that they can better serve me and better serve all of my best friends and family that are going to come together, maybe potentially once in a lifetime.
Courtney
you know?
will. No, it's not going to.
Right, exactly.
I think we have multiple people that we are supposed to be connected with, but that's just,
Okay.
But that's
so
okay. That's okay. But yeah, I mean, I think that those are the major things that
How many
make a
things did you come up
DJ
with?
better.
How many things did you really come up with?
Oh, at least over like 20 things.
Oh my
I mean, But this is my thing is I am that kind of person, like I will admit I am very type A. I am very detailed, like, and that's one of the reasons why I have started to master the craft in what I do is because I am very focused on making sure that my entire team is fully equipped to handle any scenario and they feel good. Like I have procedures in place that all of my team do at every single event, every single wedding to make sure that, they're giving the client the best product. And like, that's who I am.
So going off of that, how do you take a piece of you and put it in each of your employees?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, I think that it really just has to do a lot with how passionate I am about what I do and how empathetic I am. And a lot of I don't hire anyone who isn't that type of person.
What's the type?
That type of person I would say is like very hardworking. My entire team is like extremely hardworking, very flexible. Like they're not.
I'm giving employee reviews right now.
Yeah, exactly. Like they're very like, they're not stuck like, oh, well, at 2:00 you said that the ceremony was starting. Like, how dare you do it at 2:10 or something? You know what I mean? Like we're very flexible, but it's like we understand that having a good flow to an event is important. So creating that good flow and, doing all those things, I would say that my team does that. But a way that I think myself into everyone is just making sure that we all share that passion and feel very comfortable being a really good MC throughout the entire event, making sure everyone knows what's happening, getting out on the dance floor with the guests. Like, I think a lot of DJs feel nervous to do that or feel like that's not part of our job description when I think it is. Like, I think that that's what we should be doing. Like, if a client is super, I just had a client who loves Walt Disney World and she wanted it to be very interactive. And so, I mean, I was on the dance floor teaching Thriller and teaching the YMCA. And, it's like because she really wanted those things. And I think that's just really important. Maybe. I don't know. I'm sure we've been at a lot of weddings together.
Melody's like, I do so many weddings. I don't know what is going on.
I will say, what's going on, everybody? One half of the Hustle and Motivate crew here, Marcus. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon, comment. Let us know what you enjoyed about today's episode. Let us know what you didn't enjoy. We look forward to your feedback and seeing you on the next episode of the Hustle and Motivate. What sparked me to ask you was the Studio I Do opening. And we had worked together. And I was noticing like the equipment. I'm like, man, Melody done came a long way from when she just had her chords out there hanging out. Like,
okay. That is one thing you can never truly say about me. I have never had my cords hanging out. I am not.
You had a board.
I cannot stand.
And XLRs on the table.
No way. No,
yes,
there's no possible
when
way.
I first worked with you.
There's
you had
no
a
way.
Board and cables on the table.
That is my one OCD thing that I cannot stand. Find the footage because you probably have it, but you won't have that. I'll tell you that.
DJ, you can just tell how far you had grown. And I was like, man, Melody has really grown. Because I'm big on like, you get the right song right, but can you continue to keep the music going?
Well, and some
people can't. But I'm not saying you never did.
No. A lot of that has
to together.
Yeah.
Melody done came a long way.
A lot of that though also has to do with growing with the times when it comes to technology and equipment as well. And I think sometimes people are stuck in their ways of, well, I've always used this type of controller or this type of whatever. And
I'm not gonna call it
and
anything.
For Studio I Do, for instance, like Ashley came to me and she said, listen, I want to make sure that everybody downstairs in All the Rage and everybody upstairs in Studio I Do can have the same exact type of experience. So in order for me to do that and provide that for her, I had to have my wireless system where I was able to connect everything that we did upstairs to the downstairs system and also play a totally different type of music for her. And so it's like making sure that I can accommodate the client is like my number one thing. And that's what we had to do.
Because you're investing in yourself.
Yeah.
That's the number one thing a small business or anybody who's in a craft can do is you have to invest back into yourself. I know some people who they would have ran every chord they could find down the steps, all the way around.
But that would have been impossible because that building,
It's not possible.
Actually, no.
yeah.
And it's like one of those things where, do you tell somebody of that stature and a grand opening that you were selected for?
Yeah.
You never want to hear the word no.
No,
because
absolutely
it's like
not.
if you say no, all right, well, I just pigeonholed myself into this box,
Mm-hmm.
and now this person doesn't think I'm capable of doing it. Because that's another thing. When you tell somebody no about something, they probably can easily assume you can't do anything else in the world.
Right.
So you have to continue to make sure yourself is like, continue to make sure you're ahead. So it was just interesting. And that board was fire, by the way.
Thank you.
I was like, Melly don't want to spend some money. She had a van. I was like, okay. So
Well, that's like something I would definitely give advice to business owners for is like, you have to spend money to make money.
that was so expensive.
It's so expensive. And in our profession, especially, it's like, there's just so many fun toys you can buy and so many things.
Gotta
Like,
fall in love with the toys.
you do, but I like fall in love too much though sometimes. Like I just bought like 10 more uplights and I was like, but they're so pretty.
Yeah.
You have to do that though, because you got. That's what I say. I DJs, like if you're good, you're good. But like the whole uplighting and all the extra stuff that you can, I feel like you guys can offer so much extra stuff.
Yeah,
You
we
can just add on and continue to find ways to like enhance your brand.
and that's what we're doing, It's like it's so much easier to be like more of a one-stop shop kind of situation cuz I mean in the entertainment world it's like you're probably going to need lighting. You're probably going to need maybe a gobo to have, your name on. You're probably going to need a photo booth. Things like that. So we offer photo booths, we offer gobos. We have my LED dance floor that my family and I built. We got that. And we go down to the beach, on 24th Street or 31st Street stage, and we perform out there every summer and stuff. So, yeah, and we'll actually be, performing on New Year's Eve in Town Center with our LED dance floor and stuff. So we do that sort of thing.
What hurdles did you first deal with when you first became a DJ?
That's a really good question. I think that it mostly pertained to when I had almost like kind of that idea of like, can I do this? Like more of that internal battle of, this is a brand new thing that I've never done before. Like, can I make money doing it? Like, can it be this, because I come from a musical theater industry where like, you don't make any money. Like you don't make any money performing on stage and doing these cute little shows in these places. Like, I mean, you make some, but I would say if you want to make, like you say, like $500,000 and like you want to start investing in your career.
Will said that, not me. I'm not.
Right.
I don't brag like that.
No, I'm just saying though, if like
I didn't brag.
if you want to make that type of money, it's like you don't normally say, I'm going to be a DJ, and that's really true. Like most people would like
but
laugh at me if
hold on. See, I'm not giving you pushback, but I just think that we got to change that mindset.
we 100%
Because
do.
as a videographer, photographer, and DJ, when we all got started, people would look at us and say, I've had girlfriends tell me this. That's something you do on the weekends. That's a
right.
part-time job.
Right.
That's not the case.
No, it's not.
It's seriously not. You don't even understand the amount of money that can be made doing what we do.
Absolutely. No, I've been able to make over $100,000
Exactly.
doing this, like,
Yep.
and providing a really wonderful
Life for yourself.
lifestyle
Yep.
for myself.
Yep.
And also a lifestyle where, I can actually wake up and I feel excited to do what I love to do every single day.
You love to get out of the bed. I'm ready to take on the next challenge for the
I don't
day.
know about love to get out of bed. This job is stressful.
But you gotta love the challenge.
You have to love
gotta
it
love the
though.
I will say the trend is somebody wants to do what we already do.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like some DJs popping up, and I'm like, bruh, you don't even got like. But they come up with the cheap equipment. Like,
Yeah,
anytime you give me, anytime your audio receiver got like the silver antenna on it,
Right.
like I'm like, come on, bro. So I feel like the industry, the three professions we are in, everybody is trying to find a way to migrate to it because they think it's easy. Oh yeah, I can get up there and play some music.
It goes to the
iPad
part-time
and
thing.
all that.
That's right.
Yeah.
Until you mess somebody party up and they're ready to sue you.
Right. Exactly.
Because
But
once
then
you
the
get a bad
lawsuit
rap as
doesn't
a
matter.
DJ, you
Right.
get a bad rap as a DJ. So
Sure.
what were your hurdles?
I would say, just like internal struggles of, wondering if I can do this. And then I would say also having to invest in the equipment from the get-go, like in the beginning, like that for me was a really big hurdle because I had to like get a credit card and put like $5,000 on a credit card and, like such a short amount of time. And I was like, what am I crazy? But I was like, I'm not going to go into business without getting the best equipment that there is. You can't go and give the client the best experience that they need and desire without giving them the best equipment. And like, that was a really big hurdle for me. I would also say like and this is going to obviously open up lots of other questions, but I would say in my community of DJs sometimes aren't as supportive when it comes to female DJs. And for me, I was supported by some, but then for some, there would be jealousy or ego or things like that it was difficult sometimes to like migrate or like to work around that kind of energy. Mm-hmm. And that's one of the reasons why, I stopped doing musical theater was because there was a lot of like competitive energy and negativity and things like that. And I'm a kind of person that I create my life and I know I'm fully capable of creating the life I want by manifesting it, but I like to surround myself around positive energy.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What was the tough part about being, you're really not the only female DJ I've ever met, really.
Really?
Yeah, I'm so sick that I can think of offhand. So what is a challenge in that?
I would say it's just like the type of reaction you might get from others. So like, for instance, like I was DJing at Walt Disney World at Atlantic Dance Hall. And I was actually a music video DJ where like you play music videos and you mix them all together and you create a dance party. It was really cool. And this guy came up to me and he was like, "Oh, you're a DJ. Like, let me show you a thing or two about that. Like, let me get in there and like DJ for you." And I was just like, "Oh, are you a DJ?" And he was like, "Yeah, but like I've been DJing for like 35 years and like I can show you a thing or two." It was like this kind of energy.
Should've been, I don't see these no more, bruh.
Well, and I told him, I said, like, where do you DJ? And he was like, "Oh, like, so I don't DJ right now. Like, I'm not DJing anymore." And I was like, "Oh, okay. So like,
so you haven't been DJing 35 years.
Right. So you DJ like from your bedroom?" Like, I was like, "No." I was like, "I'm a certified Walt Disney World DJ." And it took me a lot to get to this place of like auditioning and working with people and networking and all these things to like get to this place. Like, no, like I don't deserve this type of, I don't know, like this type of like reaction or like this kind of thing. So it's like that kind of thing that you sometimes get, I feel, as like a female is like a male DJ, since it is a very male dominated industry. It's like they have this feeling of like, welcome to our industry, when it really isn't. It shouldn't be about that. It should be like everybody's allowed to do it, whether they're female or male.
Easy enough. I guess it leads into why all female.
Yeah, I actually was really inspired by this company I worked with.
Start rather.
Yeah. I was really inspired by this company I worked with down in Florida. It's called RDJ Rocks, and they have an all-female entertainment company there. Mm-hmm. And I was obsessed with it. And I was like, Virginia Beach, like Hampton Roads, this area, we have to have something like this. And so that's why I started it. And I've always, whether it was pageants or all the things I've done in the charity events and things like that, I've always been super about women empowerment. And so that's like what I wanted to focus all of my energy on when I started my own business, is have like a women-owned business. And I think, it's just such a fun niche. I mean, something different.
Mm-hmm. I like it.
So you didn't come into it wanting to add more DJs on?
I did. So I started my company calling it Melody and Company because I knew one day I would definitely, grow a team.
How long did it take you to trust people? 'Cause this is a
I'm
hard
still
business to
learning how to
trust.
trust people.
You get nervous. You get nervous when like your DJs go out and you're like, oh, I hope they did this. I hope they did that.
I don't get nervous. I actually really do trust all of my team now. But I will say that I definitely feel this pressure to make sure that we're pleasing everybody,
Correct.
like making everybody happy. And a lot of that has to do with all of the follow up before the event happens. And so as long as all of that process happens of, having our multiple meetings with each client and talking to them and getting to know them and making sure that they complete the client portal with all of the timeline things. And, as long as all of that's good, like we're good. Like it's probably going to be a great event.
Okay, so your main thing is before the event is when you just want to make sure everybody has provided the experience that you set.
Yes.
I can't do it.
Are you
I can't do
Are
it.
you ever met? So if I were to go on your site and book you today,
Yeah.
you're not available my date. It's somebody else.
Sure.
Do I meet both of you or?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you actually primarily are going to like work with that person.
Okay.
So you can, talk to me. Right now, you guys would be proud of me. I finally hired a personal assistant. So
Yeah.
so you might actually not even talk to me, right?
Okay,
Like you'll
like it.
talk to my personal assistant, Amanda. And of course, I
Oh, they're local.
yes, they're here. Yep, she's part of my team.
Nobody on Fiverr.
Yeah, it's not a random girl in her bedroom. No.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's actually one of my DJs, Amanda.
Okay.
So she's also my personal assistant.
I knew he was going. Oh, you got somebody for real.
You got somebody for real.
It's not a robot. It's
Okay.
a real person.
Not nobody on Fiverr.
I would have
AI,
got
whatever
somebody
that-
from the Philippines.
But like anybody who hires, no. Anybody who hires like one of my DJs or whatever, like I give my number out. Like it's nothing, like it's on the side of my van,
Right.
so you can text me, call me.
Oh, that's your real
anytime.
number?
That's my real number. That's
Oh
just
my
that's
God, Melody,
that's my number.
how?
That's it.
Yeah, I don't know how you do that.
I don't know how you do.
All the
You,
spam calls you get.
I'm telling you.
All of the calls.
Do you get those all day too?
Yeah.
The spam calls.
Yes.
Everybody gets
Okay,
spam
cool.
calls.
I thought I was crazy.
If I get one more hardship, we got you pre-approved.
Yeah,
I'm not a
man,
hardship
it's
person.
crazy.
Like
I have business capital for you.
38,000 for 24 hours.
Do not
Yeah.
want it.
Now
Yeah, that's amazing.
they do get you with a number because I thought to myself, you know what? How
I could use that. How could I use it?
Well, that's what I'm saying is like,
It's 38,000.
exactly.
No, I'm good.
Goodbye. Get off my phone.
Yeah, I'm
Right.
But he answers the phone. That's the funny part.
I don't
about it.
answer the
have fun
phone.
He's like my dad. They'll pick up and just chat with you, knowing damn well they're not about to give you not a dime. Or
I asked for $500,000.
That's
I
hilarious.
said I need it today. He said,
And
"We
did
can
they?
get
What'd
it.
they say?
I can get it for you today. I said, okay. What's my next steps? I need you to send over this, and this.
Yeah.
I said, I tell you what, I can get you all of that, but can you promise me $500,000 today? I can't get you $500,000. I can get you $350. I said I wanted $500. You called me.
Right.
We got to make this work.
Exactly.
I
Exactly.
love picking with him, man.
That's hilarious. I don't have enough time in the day to do that, but I wish I did.
So when did you get to the point for all business owners, man, women? Well, let's just say let's primarily focus on our ladies out here. I'm going off the cuff. Tell me when you knew it was time to say I've got to expand and I've got to bring you. I got to start looking for people. And when did you know it was time to hire assistants? Because I think everybody has that thing of because I'm busy for like a month or two.
Sure.
I need to hire an assistant. I can't do this. And then when they don't get busy no more, they fire the person. When did you know it was time to say, I've got to bring some people in now? I can't be a one-man band anymore. Because you were a one-man band for a while.
I was, yeah. I probably was for like 4 or 5 years. And, I'm in my 7th year at this point. And so I would say probably right after the pandemic.
Okay.
Because
Things got crazy.
things got
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
Like everybody was really nervous about having any type of event, and they were really nervous. And then all of a sudden, the floodgates opened.
up.
It was like, we're getting married with 300 people, and we're doing this, and we're doing that. It was like,
numbers were crazy.
it was insane. And I had always, like I told you, like I created Melody and Company for a reason. Like I wanted that to be a goal where I completely expanded. And so as soon as I started getting busy, I was like, I'm not looking back. Like, I'm not putting this off anymore. I'm trusting my people. I had worked with Natalie and Amanda, and they were my core people. And I was like, nope, I need 2 or 3 more people.
Who was
and
your first?
Natalie was one of the first people that I worked with.
Okay.
Yeah, she's amazing. And Amanda, then I brought on after that. And then she kind of became my personal assistant. And then now I have Carly and Meredith. And then I'm training other people. I actually now have this really cool whole other side to my business too, which is a live entertainment aspect. So I actually have opera and jazz singers and acoustic guitarists. And singers. I have violinists. I have a drummer. I have
Okay, so
all that.
That I just want to make sure I get an understanding of it. I was at an event last Saturday for CHKD. They had is that what you're talking about?
Like a violinist. Yeah.
No, like 4 people there.
Oh,
violinists.
cool.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, I mean that sort of thing. So
Okay.
it's like I have the ability. So say you have a wedding and you're like, well, I really want to DJ, but then for my ceremony, I always envisioned like having a violinist play my favorite song or something.
Okay,
so
cool.
I have that now. So we're starting to kind of grow in that direction as well.
Okay.
So yeah, it's really exciting. That was really the moment though when I got really busy after the pandemic.
That's when it was time.
It was time.
So how did you? What did you do in the pandemic that you pivot? Because everybody made some change. So what change did you make for your business, or what did you decide you needed to do with all that free time we had of thinking?
Other than watching like Tiger King and drinking White Claws and doing all that stuff.
That pandemic weight that you got to hit the gym to get off that.
Yes. Watching the entirety of The Office. That's what I did. But
Good show.
it's such a good show. I like it. I like the humor. But anyway, no, I would say the biggest thing I did was I invested in a brand new website because for a long time I was like, I'm going to just do this myself. Like I know how to do a website, but I was like, no, like I need somebody,
I like your website too.
a legit person who does this full time, who like knows how to do it. He was incredible. Like DeAndre like totally redid everything and then automated everything. So now, yes, like you can go up to my website and you can say, is Melody available on the 9th of December?
If they want you personally.
That's right. They can
that's
click
great.
DJ Melody and go in there and they can request me. They can pay their balance, like they can pay their retainer fee, like all of that stuff.
Everything's automated.
All of it's
They
on
can
my
do it
website.
for you without you having to sit there and like if they wanted to say, oh, she's free on my wedding day. I don't have time to wait for her to email me back. I'm gonna book her now.
That's right.
Pay my retainer, and I will talk to her whenever she can get me in the conversation.
That's right. And and that's what we do is we reach out as soon as they book. We reach out and we say, "Oh my goodness."
What's the hours?
What do you mean?
Within what time frame?
Amanda's really on top of it, so definitely within like 24 hours. I would say.
24 hours.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. That's why I'm asking, like
24 too, bro.
because
It's hard.
people have this. I reach out within 10 hours. I reach out within
Sure.
10 minutes.
10. So,
10,
yeah,
yeah,
like, people
yeah.
have this different thing, and I'm just wondering what yours is because it's sight unseen.
I would definitely say within 24 hours. But that's also because Amanda and I are very similar minded in the sense that if we don't do something now, we might forget. So it's like it's going to be within 24 hours or it's going to end up if we forget or something, it's going to be like 7 days. You know what I mean? Like it's no like medium. It's not like
I'm the same way.
you know. So if we do it within that time, if we give that ourselves that goal, then it's way easier to just be like, let's just bang all these out.
Because I
and
find
make sure we
myself when
reply.
people text me, I'm starting to hate text messages.
Yeah.
Because you text me, hey, blah 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 blah. Oh, okay, I'm in a shoot. I'll get back to that later.
Right.
That was Monday. Today is Friday. I was
Right.
like, oh shit, I forgot
Yes.
to text you back on Monday because
I'm like that with emails.
pretty much, yeah.
I got 2
Yeah.
companies, so I'm like, oh yeah, that came through. All right,
I'll get to that.
3
Yeah.
days later. Oh,
Oh, yep.
Christ. Yeah, just doubling back. Thank you for doubling back because I forgot.
Because I forgot.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
So-
it helps to have another like set of eyes on it too. Like Amanda helps a lot.
So for all the ladies out there, all the women out there, what advice would you give that woman who has that dream of being an entrepreneur? How do they become successful at whatever they want to do? What advice would you give them?
I would definitely say that it's really important to live without fear. I think that in our society nowadays, I think that there's a lot of with sicknesses going around and war and all these things that are blasted on social media, like it's really easy to feel scared to make choices and decisions and actions with your life. And for me, I think living without fear is like the main reason why I've been able to like achieve all of my dreams that I've accomplished so far. And knowing that every day, like I have the choice to create those dreams. Like that's really big for me is like I know that I have the capability inside and I just have to create it, create that future and that goal, like make that happen. I was listening to a podcast yesterday actually about manifesting, and they said something really awesome. They said like we like to manifest our dreams by like focusing on the end result and focusing on that dream beach house or that dream $1 million or something like that. But we don't focus on manifesting all of the choices we have to make to get ourselves to that beach house or to that $1 million. It's like we don't focus on how our mind is going to be in that moment of when you had to wake up at 5 a.m. to make sure that you got to that gig on time, that connected with, that person. And you know what I mean? Like, it's like we don't focus on those hard times that build our future to create that scenario that we can get that $1 million. Like, and so that's the key is, just knowing that you are in complete control. You have every ability to do this, like living without the fear, and then choosing to manifest every single day all of those choices that you have to make in order to get to where you want to be.
I love it. One more question for you.
Yeah.
What would you tell little Melody?
Little Melody.
The pageant queen.
The pageant queen.
What would she say about you today? What would you tell her about you today?
I don't think little Melody would recognize old Melody. Because it's like we have this goal when we're this little kid that we want to be happy, and it's like we're like, well, what does happiness really look like? Sure. And I think for me, I have really finally created this beautiful life where I have my core people and my core, circle. I have an incredible team with Melody and Company. I have a beautiful family. I would say that little Melody just needs to know that no matter what she thinks happiness might be at a little age, that, at this point, she can achieve that happiness, like regardless of what she decides that happiness is. So for instance, when I was a little kid, I thought being on Broadway was the only way that I was going to be happy. But I have found that my life right now is so much more rewarding and fulfilling than what my life would look like if I was living on SpaghettiOs and like in a tiny little apartment in New York City. And, and so many people do that, and I love and respect them, and I think it's so cool. But I know for me personally, I am so much happier because I chose this life. And I think little Melody would be super overwhelmed by any other options that could be other than Broadway, but there's just so many different roads to happiness. She would be so proud, okay. Because there's so many roads to happiness and peace. And I mean, that really needs to be the key goal in your life, no matter what you're trying to pursue as an entrepreneur, as a DJ, as a photographer, as a videographer. Like, the key goal is pure peace and happiness. And if you can get to a place in your career where you're able to do what you love and make an impact in your community and help others and give people the best product, then I think that you found that.
Yeah. Dig it.
Where's some final question so we can land this? What is Melody? Where do you see Melody and Company in 5 years?
That's a really good question. I mean, I definitely see us, having a great team that is still giving a great product to Hampton Roads and, obviously everywhere. We travel to all the surrounding areas, Virginia, North Carolina. And I have a wedding in New York in a few months. We go everywhere. But yeah, I actually, in my life personally, I want to kind of settle down and have a family and grow in a different way and kind of take a step back and transition into more of like a manager role. But I definitely never will stop DJing, probably. I don't know if I should be that like old 75-year-old grandma DJing, but
It might work. If they booking you,
It
but
might
if they're
work,
booking,
yeah.
yeah, right.
75-year-old
Yeah.
DJ out here now.
That is true. There's lots of, and like I teach, I don't know if you guys know this, I teach Zumba on the side, like to senior citizens. And this is the most random thing. And I teach line dancing to them and stuff. And like they are living their best life.
Yeah.
So, it's like I could 100% see 75-year-old Melody, DJing.
Westminster, jamming.
Yeah, exactly. DJ at a Westminster party, maybe not a prom, maybe not. I'm 35 and I'm like, I'm already too old for these proms. But yeah, no, I think that Melody and Company is just going to continue to keep expanding and growing in a way where we're able to make sure that we stay very, very small and specialized so that we can be a boutique company, but grow in any way that we need to make sure that we can give clients their best product, for sure.
Love it.
Will?
Melody,
Yes.
thank you.
You're welcome. This was so fun.
I really do. I learned a lot.
Good.
So hopefully the people can too. Where can people find you?
You can go to my website, melodyandcompany.com. It's melodyandcompany.com. Or you can follow me on Instagram at Let Me Be Your Melody is my personal IG handle. Or you can do our business one, which is DJ Melody and Co.
Nice. Again, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes.
Thank you.
So, first episode of season 3, Hustle and Motivate. We had Melody. She gave us some great advice. Hope y'all got something from it. Again, always respect the hustle if you earn from it and motivate others in the process. We'll see y'all on the next one. What's going on, world? One half of the Hustle and Motivate podcast here is Will Hawkins. So we appreciate y'all checking out today's episode. If you had anything you'd like to say, hate, love, don't care, leave it in the comment box below. Like and subscribe. Either way, we gonna win. See y'all on the next episode.